Welcome survivors, how are you all doing? I hope you're all well. It's been a bit of a slow ARK news time recently, but big things are coming, and today we're going to be covering some news on the long-awaited Carcharodontosaurus, the upcoming Switch re-release, and the massively exciting Extra Life event in November, which I think will be big for ARK 2 and the animated series. So let's jump straight in. So the Carcharodontosaurus is still coming, yes! There's been a lot of questions as to whether the devs have ditched the Carcharodontosaurus or just forgotten about it because they have been silent for months. However, I can confirm it is still happening. Community manager Cedric tweeted out saying, yes, Carchar is still coming. Now, this is his nod to all of your questions out there. He didn't say any more than that, but it at least relieves the worries that it had been dropped or forgotten. In fact, I think this tweet or the mention of Carcharodontosaurus is pretty significant and could signal it is not far off the horizon. A lot of the time I do see people claiming the devs ignoring them when they ask about it, but I know for a fact that Cedric is often in a position where he absolutely wants to tell the community about stuff, but he's not allowed to because it's not the right time for the company to do so. This then ends up with no responses whatsoever, and therefore it isn't really ignoring, it's just more like his hands are literally tied. So now that Ced has mentioned it, even briefly, I believe this means we are getting much closer to its release, and I am still personally convinced it will be dropped either with Fear Evolved or during the Extra Life event in November. I don't see it just being dropped randomly, it's got to come with something else. Okay, so on to the Switch re-release. So I've covered in several videos already that ARK will be present at PAX West in September to show off the new ARK Switch. I was asked recently if they would be streaming anything from PAX West, which I was able to confirm at the time that they weren't, and that is still true. However, I can now confirm that they will be doing a community stream from the Wildcard offices on Friday the 2nd of September at 10 AM Pacific time. That's 6 PM for the UK folk. This will be before PAX West takes place, where Ced and Grove Street Games will be talking about the enhancements that are included in the ARK Switch edition, and also doing a live community crunch as well. Now, this is fantastic for all of you that can't attend PAX West this year, and let's face it, that's going to be the majority of Switch players. So hopefully you shouldn't miss out on anything from PAX West besides meeting the life-size HLNA. And given that there will be no streaming from PAX West at all, it is highly unlikely that there will be any kind of announcements or reveals for anything like ARK 2 or the animated series. But hopefully either during the community livestream or at PAX West, they might reveal the actual Switch release date, which is due in September. And last but not least, Extra Life in November. I think this Extra Life is going to be one of the most anticipated ARK Extra Life streams since they began 7 years ago, with the very strong chance of hearing more about ARK 2 and the animated series. So what we do know is ARK is doing the event this year. They haven't revealed the date that they're doing it yet, but every year so far they have always done it on the Extra Life game day, which is always the first weekend in November. So that would be the 5th of November. So make sure you save that date. And although this is my own speculation, I want to make that clear. I expect to see some sort of news or reveals regarding ARK 2 and or the animated series, because in the past they've always done this regarding ARK DLCs whenever the charity donations reach certain goals. So with no new DLCs or content besides ARK 2 and the animated series, then they don't really have anything else to show or talk about. So it makes sense with us getting much closer to both of these that there's going to be content revealed during Extra Life. But it's also not just about the reveals, they also run the official server rate boost increases each time they reach new milestones too. And assuming they do that this year, which I expect they will considering it's the last year for ARK 1, then the funds are already coming in. $450 have already been raised, with much thanks to Bell and Larry Smith for kicking things off so early. Belle is really pushing this forward and is a very supportive person when it comes to this Extra Life event, and much love to her for that. And before you ask, yes, the $450 does go towards the donation goals on the day. So we're already pushing those chances of getting rate increases already several months in advance. And if you are also a streamer and want to join the Studio Wildcard team, like all of these amazing folk on the screen now, to help raise funds over the weekend through your own streams, then you can sign up for it already. And I'll put the link to the page in the description below. And for those of you that don't know about Extra Life, you can also find a link in the description for more information on that. It's a charity that helps sick children all year round and is huge within the gaming community. So don't forget, 5th of November. But that's it, survivors. I will keep you up to date with more ARK news when it comes out. But until then, please don't forget to like and share this around, and I'll see you next time.